Hi, and welcome to today's episode of The Supporting Actor. I'm your host, Adrienne Streeter, so let's jump right into it. Hello, and welcome to today's episode of The Supporting Actor. I'm Adrienne Streeter, your host, and we have a great guest with us today that I'm looking forward to diving into, having a great conversation. But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe, click, and get that notification bell so that when we do upload new content, you will be notified. All right, so without further ado, let's welcome Zack Turner. Hey, Zack, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule today to join us.
Absolutely, no problem.
So we're here at Mercy Autism Center in Baton Rouge. And Zack is one of the board certified behavioral analysts. And so what that means, Zack, is?
Well, that means that I apply the principles of behavior analysis to help individuals with autism to build skill deficits and to reduce some of those challenging behaviors. And I kind of oversee cases as like a case manager.
Okay, all right. So sounds like you also have a lot going on with that particular role.
Oh, always, absolutely, yes.
So now how did you get into becoming a board certified behavioral analyst?
Well, I actually started out as a behavioral therapist. In college, I was looking for a job, to do kind of on the side, and came across a position for a behavior therapist.
Okay.
Where those therapists actually implement the programs of the board certified behavior analyst. Okay. And so I would come in 10, 15 hours a week and implement these programs for a couple of kids that I worked with. And very quickly just fell in love with it and started to see more progress with kids, started to see how happy it made families, that these kids were really doing well.
Yes.
And very quickly decided this was up my alley. This is where I wanted to go.
I love that.
Finished undergrad, went to grad school, all for psychology and ABA.
I love it. So now if you missed it, I'm here with Zack at the Mercy Autism Center in Baton Rouge. So tell us a little bit about the history of the organization and how you all got started, and really important, the why behind the work.
Sure. So this company, Mercy, was founded by Dr. Catherine Hurd. She came down from California in around 2014 and worked for a different company.
Okay.
Same company that I worked for, actually. And then as of last year, she left the company and opened up this place because she's been doing this for quite a while, and she is an expert in the field, and it's something that she wanted to do to help open up wait lists for other places to help get kids in and actually get services, because we know everywhere has wait lists for months and months, so she wanted to be able to come in and do something as well for kids in different areas of town, right? So she started this place about, I think it was around a year ago. Yeah. And then I soon after came and joined her around June of last year.
Okay. Well, we did get an opportunity to do a tour of the facility, and we're going to give you all a little insight of this beautiful facility. I love the front. It is absolutely, the lobby is welcoming. It just is gorgeous. I absolutely love it. So thank you for opening your space to us, Zack. it's a fairly young organization. But statistics show that every 1 in 45 children in the United States is being diagnosed with autism. So I'm certain that means, from a growth standpoint, you just kind of mentioned wait lists all over the state. You all are growing by leaps and bounds.
Right.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the services that the organization offers so that it can just really help not only the community, but our audience?
Absolutely. So we offer applied behavior analysis to technically to anyone. It's a learning method, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyone can learn by using the principles of ABA or applied behavior analysis. But what we mainly do is autism. Mm-hmm. So individuals who are diagnosed with autism can be funded. ABA can be funded when you have that diagnosis. And so typically once a client, someone gets that diagnosis from a hospital or somewhere, then they will seek out ABA services. And, like you said, typically they're on a wait list. Sadly, it's such a prevalence these days and there's not enough help. And so we try to get kids in as much as possible, and we work on some of the skill deficits that are related to the diagnostic criteria of autism. Mm-hmm. And so, that goes along with the social deficits. Mm-hmm. So we work on social skills, communication deficits. We teach you how to communicate. Yes. If you're not able to talk, we come up with other methods. We use the electronic AAC devices, or we use picture exchange, things like that, sign language. We focus on those deficits of the diagnostic criteria when it comes to autism. However, you don't have to have autism to do ABA. There's people who don't have autism that really do learn from ABA. Mm-hmm. There's people who overcome addictions using ABA. There's people who learn how to form a better habits by using ABA, like in your daily life, like learning to exercise more by using these principles. And so it's mainly a way of teaching, but the research shows that this is the best form of teaching for individuals with autism.
And you talk about anyone can learn. It sounds like this probably should be in our educational system in general.
That would be wonderful. I think it could be beneficial, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think it is in education a lot more than people realize too.
One of the things that in all of our interviews we found is services for autism or any special need is expensive. And one of the things I love about the organization you're part of is you all accept insurance.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us a little bit about that and how that came about? Because a lot of places, unfortunately, they don't.
Right. Mm-hmm. So we will accept insurance. Any insurance that I've worked with, we've accepted anyone that will pay us, basically. Most of our clients are enrolled with Medicaid. Okay. And so we accept Medicaid, or we accept any commercial insurance. If you have a child with disabilities, you're entitled to that assistance from Medicaid. And so a lot of parents don't realize that until they start to actually look into it and fight for that and say, oh my gosh, I can actually get ABA for free if I seek these Medicaid services, whereas I didn't believe I could get on Medicaid before. Wow. Right, exactly. So I think it's wonderful that Medicaid and any insurance will provide these services, because you're right, they're not very cheap.
But do they need to have a diagnosis to be covered?
They would have to have the diagnosis first, right? Which is also tricky to get. It can be tricky to get. There's not a lot of people in Louisiana who diagnose. And so you've got to travel most of the time to New Orleans, Baton Rouge, wherever you live, you've got to travel. And then you've got to be on a wait list for 6 months, possibly.
Mm. So if you all had someone moving from out of state to Baton Rouge, new to the area, and they did have a diagnosis where they were coming from, would you all accept that diagnosis?
Absolutely, yes. Okay. They could come in with the diagnosis is universal.
Okay.
And
Good
so
to know.
we would take that, and the only thing is they would have to have some sort of funding, of course, whether that be private pay or through they enroll in Louisiana Medicaid or have their own just commercial insurance program. That we would take any of that.
Okay. All right. Great. It sounds like there's a lot of options because caring for any child in general is costly. But if there's a way that, you know, we can help or provide resources for you to understand how to cover or lower those costs is very important. So we're now in 2024. Happy New Year. What would you say are some of the organization goals for the organization in 2024 that you can speak to for our audience?
Well, we actually just opened up a second clinic in Gonzales. So we're in Rouge, and we just opened our second clinic in Gonzales.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So our goal right now is to establish both of our clinics, get them built up, because we just split basically. So we have half of the kids here now going to Gonzales.
Okay.
So now they're accepting clients on the wait list who lived out there, and we're accepting clients on the wait list who were out here. So right now, our biggest goal is getting kids in. You know, we want to try and help as many people as possible. You know, I think we started maybe like 5 kids within the past month.
Oh, wow.
So I know for sure that some of our biggest goals is to really get established. You know, we did a tour earlier, so we have that new warehouse in the back, and the kids love it because it's such a big open area. But one of our goals is to establish that area, figure out, what we want to do, like a classroom set up in one area, exercise or movement area, some, little things, maybe a movie screen somewhere, things like that. Just making this place, real fun, make it to where the kids love to come here, which they already do, but even more, and that's just always our goal every year, is to just get more in, help more people. Do just the little things that you want to work on. You work on them as they come. Anything that comes up, we hit head on, and just main goal, helping more people.
Sounds like you're going to be in Prairieville soon.
That's the plan. To be all over. I know Dr. Kat doesn't ever have plans of just settling down. If you meet her, you'll see she wants to do more. She always wants to help people. She'll get a phone call from someone in Denham Springs needing help, and she'll start making plans to open a clinic in Denham Springs. So that's just how she is, and I know that we're not done now. There's going to be more. Absolutely.
Do you know what her driving passion is? Why she got started?
I think her story was similar to mine, except for when she started in California, she was working more closely with the CEO of that company that we were with before. And the CEO was working at UCLA with a renowned researcher. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of Ivar Lovaas. Llovas, I think is how you spell it, something like that. But the CEO was working directly under him, and he has a lot of published research still out today that they use in colleges. And so they were really in the beginning stages of what we now know as ABA, which back then was more called behavior modification. And so I think in regard to how she got started was more along the lines of the research, and then they started doing more experimental things, maybe more little sessions in homes, little sessions in schools, things like that, and then slowly grew that field there into being what we know as ABA more so today, because even 9 years ago when I started this, ABA is different. So it's different. We learn, we grow. When research comes out, we do different things. We change methods, whatever it is. It's research-based science, and so I know that's how Dr. Kat became a doctor, was by doing research, and then that's okay. That company that she was working for ended up having close to like 200 clinics around the country. and she was there from day one,
Wow.
So that's why I say she was a big part of what ABA is today. I believe that.
Zack, I love that. So we're here on the weekend recording, and you all have a significant amount of people here. What are your hours of operation?
We are open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, and then we typically use Saturdays as sort of like a floater day or like a makeup day. If you missed a Tuesday or missed a day during the week, you could come on the weekend. And it's like a volunteer case by case type of thing, and so the kids that are here today are, that's 10% of the kids that we normally have around 20 to 30 kids here a day. And so these kids here are just kind of making up some missed days, or they just wanted some extra therapy hours. Yeah. So 8 to 6 typically. We're flexible with that. If a parent says I need to drop them off at 7:30, we will try to find a staff member who's available to just come in for 7:30. We're not gonna turn you away for 30 minutes. You know what I mean? So we are very accommodating for things like that too. If you're running a little bit late, that's fine too. We totally understand that.
So now I know we talked about your goals for 2024. And again, you all are relatively new in this space. Well, what would you say have been some of the organization's challenges that you all have faced since being established in this location, or maybe even things that that's happening in Gonzales?
I would say some of the biggest challenges would be, number one is our staff members, our BTs are typically younger or like early to mid 20-year-old college students. And I would say the biggest challenge in that is just working with a college student's schedule. So sometimes you have to work in the morning and then you have to leave to go to class. So that scheduling wise, I would say that's the biggest challenge. Other challenges that we face, sometimes we have, if things get a little crazy, we may have a kid that might put a hole in the wall or something, you know what I mean? And other than that, every day is new, every day is different, and so nothing surprises me. That's why I don't say that I have, many challenges that I face, because every day is a little bit crazy in some way, and no 2 days are the same.
Well, Zack, how can our audience get involved if you all have any upcoming events or ways for them to volunteer? How can our audience support what you all are doing here?
Well, we love to be involved in community events. That's how me and you met. It was at the gymnastics community event. So I would say if there's ever anything that you think that we, or if anyone thinks that we could come to and just kind of spread our message, just meet people, talk to people, talk to the parents about, what is autism, and let them know that there is hope. Sometimes people are at a low of low, and parents really need help and they don't know about these things. So biggest thing I say is if there's any way that we can come out and just spread the message, spread the word, help people, let us know.
I love it. One of the previous episodes with CAN here in Baton Rouge, one of their goals is to make Baton Rouge an autism approved city. There are only 3 in the United States. Yes, I probably have said that wrong, but I can get you information on that. And what that means is 80% of 5 different sectors, whether it's police, EMS, education, services, there are 5 different categories, are trained to support the community of those who live there with autism. Yeah, I would love to connect y'all. So this is what it's about. This is the resource of why we do what we do, so that we can make a better space and better place for not only the community that we live in, but hopefully inspire you as our audience who or not here in the Baton Rouge, Louisiana, or wherever you're located, but you can go out and make these changes. Talk to EMS, talk to your fire department, talk to the police officers about getting the proper training that they would need, or talk to even your government officials to get legislation passed so that those with special needs, disabilities, and or autism can get identified before a situation could potentially become an unfortunate situation.
Right.
Zack, thank you. I so appreciate your time.
I'm glad y'all came. I love talking about this and spreading, the word and just, seeing what I can do to help. So thank you very much.
Well, y'all, thank y'all for such a great conversation with Zack Turner here at the Mercy Autism Center in Baton Rouge. This has been an awesome experience, and I cannot wait for you to stick around and see some of the footage of their awesome facility. If you are in need, feel free to check them out here in Baton Rouge or at their new location in Gonzales, and stay tuned for future locations. Thank y'all so much. Have a happy new year and stick around for more great content. Y'all take care.